Lamy, long time, my
Yes,
brother.
sir. Yes, sir. Happy New Year, bro. Merry
Happy,
New
happy,
Year.
happy New Year. Is this our first episode this year?
I believe so. It's the first one in a
Wow,
long time.
in
In
a
a
long
long time.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
if not
Since
this
your
year.
last trip to Niger, I
Yes,
think.
yes, yes,
So it's been a
yes.
while.
Yeah, it's been a
It's been a
while.
while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've missed our conversations.
Yep. Yep.
I've
Yep.
missed our
Yep.
conversations much, 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 much.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's
So
going
we
on?
are talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So two grown men are going to give this a deep dive today. Um, I'm old enough to remember when research meant going to the library. And that meant that if you didn't have that book, right? So growing up in Lagos, we had, if you're a bit middle class ish, you had the Koi Club Library, you had a few, some people would go to USIS, and some people, older books, you probably go to a bookstore on Herbert Macaulay, and then some some private bookstores in Victoria Island, Ikoyi, etc., where people would buy books. Of course, we had textbooks that would buy from that would be asked to buy as part of our recommended text for learning in school. But if you wanted to take it further, or you wanted your own learning, we only had research from libraries. Then for few people that had cable TV, then you got cable TV knowledge from CNN. As we now know that is right wing and left wing. Then we didn't know anything. Everything was just
It was just
news.
news.
News is news. Now we're older. We can say, okay, left leaning, like all those words. We
There's all
didn't know
these
that then. And
distinctions.
then we had
Yeah.
magazines. We had like the likes of Time magazine and all those magazines. But the thing was that then we had we were almost always late to the party to the extent. So if we got a magazine, it's probably last month's edition that we're not getting it in Lagos. Or for those of us who had cable TV, we had privy to like live content, and then some of those books were not available, right? Maybe because no one brought them over, etc. But then we moved on to World Wide Web. We had the internet, and now we're in the AI space, complete AI space, where we are not just asking Google for things. We're now able to have conversations, full blown conversations, where before we would go to Google or we'd go to Yahoo or any of those tools and we would ask a question. It might not give us quite what we're looking for. Then we have to go back again to the homepage and ask another question. And sometimes just get frustrated. But now you can have like a full blown conversation where you're just um, you know, changing. No, no, this is not what I meant. This is what I meant, and it will give you maybe something close to what you're looking for. What has been your experience with AI?
Um, for me, it's been transformative. And
Okay.
starting from where you're starting from, I mean, I did go to, I did, I mean, I went to graduate school, have a research degree, and I remember when research meant going to, I mean, there was JSTOR and these other research platforms, the academic research platforms, Lexis and all that, but it was still you having to comb through like tons of data, right? You'll look at an article. I mean, you
Mm,
do your search terms, dig up like 50 articles,
mm,
and then have to go over them one by one to find the ones that actually were relevant to what you were trying to do.
hmm.
It was painstaking work. No wonder PhDs took 4, 5, 6 years. It was
Yes. Yeah.
painstaking work. And then today, so I like technology. I'm one of those tech geek type people. But honestly, AI has been for me transformative. It's I remember initially just the whole Terminator and the machines taking over this. I mean, taking over the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
I remember just being fascinated when ChatGPT came out. I want to try this thing out. What's this AI? How is it different from Google? I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And so I embraced it, starting with chat, and then as other models came out, I tried Claude, I tried Copilot, I've tried Gemini, and all the other ones that you use for different things. The ones that you use for specific things like render. I mean, I work in the building trade now, so you we have AI that you use for design work and a bunch
Mhm.
of stuff. So, but as I've gone along, like I find it crazy, and I can't imagine what my life would be like now without AI. You know, I feel like I'm 1,000 times more productive. I can get a lot more done because I have this resource that I don't have to worry about. You're going to close, you're going to call me a slave driver, or I tell you to go and do some research for me, and I end up not using that research because 5 minutes after I sent you to look at that work for me, the paradigm changed in my head, or something else happened and that became more urgent. So the research I've sent you to do is now wasted. There's no guilt factor. It's just what it is. And then for me, I like the churn over like ideas. Like I take an idea and twist it 1,000 different ways.
Mm.
What AI gives me is the perfect sounding board. What if you do it like this? What if you do it like that? You can twist that same conversation 1,000 different ways and get it to see different perspectives of it. And the fact that you have an infinite, like a world of infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So you can tell. I use two platforms like all as my default, and you can tell. Listen, put yourself in the mind of XYZ person with XYZ background, and analyze this argument for me. They are like, thank you very much. Now take this other document, right? And or this same document, but put yourself in the mind of A, B, and C person now, not XYZ, but somebody else entirely, and look at the same document, give me another perspective to it. You know, look, it's dynamic, it's crazy, and that's not without going into things like I look, I'm a lot more productive. You send me a document to look at, I'll digest it, send it back to you, and no, it's just amazing.
So time.
What's your experience like?
So yeah, it saves time. My experience is mixed. I understand because I'm doing a course in AI, and where AI is going, we are at probably 20% capacity. So we're doing narrow AI, which is what we're a lot of what you were describing just now with generative AI, and it's generative because it's generating ideas on the go. So they have training data which can be biased, very, very biased, because human beings are biased to start with. So we cannot really expect AI to be objective. So that biased data goes into the platform, and that's the data it's getting for you when you ask it questions. And as you're asking it questions, you see that sometimes it will apologize, right? It's apologizing not because it's trained not to. My experience is almost trained not to disagree with you. Like when you say something and it corrects you and you say no, but that's it. It will say, "Aha, okay, I see where you're coming from." Unless it's something that is a definite fact, like you're saying something like maybe somebody who's alive is deceased, then it will stick to its ground and say, "No, that person is deceased because I have information, I have training data to say." But it's kind of like fluid and flexible and adaptable. But my concern or my um my frustration with AI is the hallucination factor. So AI will just bring something that did not exist. AI can tell you now that um, Ibrahim Traore is the governor of Kogi State.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it can just come up with all that kind of stuff. So it tells you. So there's a mixture of truth and hence the word as hallucination. So you still have that human element. You need to still go back and check it. So it's not word for word. You have to go back. And that's where the human intelligence is there to go back and say, okay, I've told you to do this. I've come up with an idea. You've come up with a solution. But then you have to challenge it and continue to challenge it and use your own knowledge of the particular thing that you're asking it for to make sure that what it's giving you is correct. Like you said earlier, you would tweak it and make sure it's giving you exactly what you want. Amend it a little bit, and it will give you what you want at the end of the day. That's my frustration with it. But on the positive side, like you said, it's not just for um, it's not just for writing stuff. I see it as a transformative tool, just like you said. So it's like having a research assistant. It's like having a copywriter. It's like having a speech writer and a junior analyst in your pocket, like your own digital, assistant. And like you said earlier, we can use it for different things. If you want to use it for like images or video generation, you and I in this space, it helps us to give us something maybe close or maybe 50% of what we're trying to portray as our images, right? We can use it for some of our, our thumbnails. We can use it for some of our creative things that we're bringing onto the space. Then even people use it for voice as well. So if you want to do a voiceover, maybe at the beginning of your podcast, at the end, it can be used for that. I've also found it interesting for automating business workflow. So you have a complicated workflow and you say, explain this workflow to me like I was 5 years old.
Yep.
And AI breaks that thing down, a complicated concept, and it breaks it down into something very simple. So that's where I found a lot of value on it. Data analysis as well. So basically, what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is it compresses time that allows you to go and do more important things with your time.
Yep.
Now, information that used to take hours to research, now seconds. Even if you're going to spend the next 30 minutes or next 25 minutes going through what it has given you, correcting it, removing the hallucinations, like I said earlier, removing the things that are clearly not in the text, clearly not what you're talking about, it will still be less than you having to go through, say, a 300-page document or a 250-page document that would have probably taken you the whole day to really
Yep.
circle and say, okay, I don't agree with this. It will just tell it, do a critical evaluation of X, Y, and Z. But the main game changer for me is you need to learn, you yourself have to be intelligent to an extent to use AI properly, right? That's one thing that is not really spoken about well. And what do I mean by intelligent? Just like what you said, you have to ask it to go into the persona of the person that you are trying to be, or the person you are. So say you're a company director. So I'm a company director and I've been given this 300-page document, and what I'm trying to extract from the document is to give me competitive analysis, return of investment, risks, benefits analysis, and to give me something I can present to the board at an executive level. Don't make it too wordy. Bring out all the highlights of this document, make it ready, and pull out where decisions need to be made from the document. Now, AI will break that task for you. You've told it the persona. You've told it that you're a CEO. You've told it that you don't want too much grammar because the people that you're presenting to don't have time for you to be talking for 2 3 hours. Maybe they only have 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They want to make a decision, boom. So AI so before you would have to give it to a secretary, or you would have to sit down and spend time to do it. So if you tell it what to do in the persona that you want, so as a person, I want to, so that I can, you've given it that format. And if you give it that format, that is the format it's going to go through. So you have to be excellent at what is called prompt engineering. In other words, what you want from the system, you have to be very specific. You have to be very measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be realistic, and it has to be time bound. So, in other words, what you are telling it has to be smart. That's the acronym for smart. It has to be smart. So, if you give it something smart, it will give you something smart. If you give it something vague and you use it like Google, it's not Google, it will give you something vague. So the better you get at prompt engineering and asking it to do specific things for you. But now the beauty of AI is as it gives you something vague, if you know it's vague and you're like, this doesn't seem quite right, then you get better at prompt engineering without knowing you're getting better at prompt engineering because you get frustrated with the outcome and you're like, this is a bit too vague. Then you talk to it again. And that's what it has over what we're using right now, what we were using before, which is Google, because you have the opportunity to have a conversation and you are constantly refining that output till you get and, and one thing I like about it as well, whether it's Claude, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Copilot, it also has something called agents. So it has agents. So if you go into the left side of your preferred generative tool, you can click on something called agent and you create an agent. It will create an agent for you. So that agent is what you will now use to be creating all these things that you wanted to create for you. And you would have told it already that I am so and so person. And from time to time, I'll be coming to you to ask you so that so it knows you, it will study you, to study your and then you can tell it what kind of voice you want it to write in, for example. So you can say, make it descriptive style, make it poetic style, make it very business friendly, make sure you use a lot of big words if that's what you're trying to achieve, make it super simple so people can understand, break it down to like 5-year-old level. It will do that as well. So I have found a tremendous amount of value from AI, just like you.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. What is the thing you use AI for the most right now?
Okay, so I use it. I use without going specific into a particular tool or the other. I use it at work. I use it to plan my day and plan my week. So I set up an agent. That's what I was talking about agents earlier. So I set up an agent and I say on a Monday morning, I'll say for the rest of the week, as my emails come in, prepare me for the meetings that I have that day. Any actions that I have not picked up from the previous week, highlight them. Any emails that I have not responded to, highlight them. Summarize what is requested of me. So even if it's a long thread of 23 people going back and forth about something I'm not interested in, I'm only interested in what do they want Yemi to do. So that saves me time. The time it would have taken me to go to the first, because in the past I'd have to go to the first email and then, okay, Dave is talking to Brad is talking to Tunde is talking to Shegun is talking to Lolade about this and now, okay, set up a meeting, okay, the meeting was postponed, do it again. And then I now get to maybe the last 3 emails. And then sometimes I'm still thinking, what do these guys want me to do? Why is this on my plate? And that time, instead of me to just go straight
It's
to the point and
productive time, yeah.
answer what they need me for, I'm spending time going to the trail of emails that doesn't concern me. So that's time I could have been using to do something else. So Copilot, which is the tool we use, will go into my email because it's integrated. And that's one thing about if you use AI that is integrated into different forms, it can help you. So it goes into my email, and what I've asked it to do, it goes into the email, summarizes what I've just explained, prepares me for the week, prepares me for meetings. So if I'm leading a meeting, it will give me a view of what is expected from me. So I'll say like I said about persona, going to the minds of the people I'm having the meetings with, what are they expecting me to say and what are they expecting from me from the meeting? So it has the opportunity, it has the the data to go into previous emails and fashion out a plan for me so that when I go into the meeting, I know exactly what to say. I'm prepared. Another thing is it summarizing meeting notes. So when we have meetings, in the background is recording everyone's participation. At the end, I just go into it and say that meeting, what are the highlights of the meeting? Were there any actions? Is there anything for me to do? So usually that'll be the three things I'll ask it. What's the summary? Are there any actions? Is there anything for me to do? Are there any, if there are any actions for me to do, it highlights it for me. I'll go and work on it and get it ready before the next meeting. So literally, if I have 4 to 5 meetings, sometimes it will take me till the next day to finalize all my actions. But now I can get everything done literally 30 minutes after the meeting. So if you're not lazy, it just frees up your time to do other things. So to answer your question, yeah, that's one of the things I use it for at work. But personal life, it also helps me to, think about, improvement in, personal life, improvements in maybe topics to talk about, on Two Grown Men or anywhere else. I still use it for, random fun trivia questions as well. Stuff like that I would have had to go into Google to search for. I would just use it and it'll give me that information. And then even things like if you want to write letters, maybe sponsorship letters, or you want to write fundraising letters or things like that, it gives you the bare bones of what you need to write, which saves me a lot of time. And then I just amend it, tweak it to what I want to use it for. So it's been transformative, but I have concerns about it.
Ah.
I have concerns. On Instagram, I don't know if you're on Instagram or any of this social media, we are almost getting to the point, allow me, where somebody does a video and if you go to the comment section, people are debating whether it's AI or real.
Yup. Yup. Yup.
That is scary.
Scary.
Yeah, and
Very scary.
sometimes you will say it's AI, and then the creator will say no, that was a real video. Especially like these animal wildlife videos where somebody like is in a truck in
Yeah.
Kenya and a lion will just come and roar, and people, the first person comment will be like AI, 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 and then the creator will now say no, actually it was not AI, that's a real video. But some it's AI, some it's clear that it's AI, but it's getting better. It's getting better.
Yup.
It's
Yup.
learning. It's like generative AI.
And
It's
in
getting
real
better.
terms,
And
AI is a child, is
I
a toddler,
don't
but
want us to get to a point where we can't distinguish. I would like the authorities to have a disclaimer that this or portions of this video that you've just seen have generative AI. So because if you can't tell, it means somebody can be framed. It means
oh
people
yeah.
can use it for nefarious activities. And,
Oh yeah.
the person who's been framed is not coming out and saying that stuff is AI. Everybody's like, yeah, right. That's what everyone says. Because now people can
Yeah.
hide under AI. So, but if there's a clear way of telling people that this is
Wasn't
AI
there a
generated,
famous case recently of a minister who was on an aircraft? Was it
exactly.
AI or not?
That one was not AI. Because the lady in question came out and said, it's me.
Plot twist. What if the lady herself was AI?
And our account.
Like plot twist.
You see where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Somebody actually did this content creator did some images of this very dark skinned looking lady, voluptuous, and she had like 3 or 4 videos on Instagram with millions of followers and millions of views. And it ended up, no, maybe it was TikTok. We ended up now finding out that it was an AI video. There was another one during Wimbledon, last year's Wimbledon, where there was this lady that took pictures, very beautiful lady, and she was taking pictures, and there were so many people,
Commenting on the pictures.
and the person who created the account said it was actually an experiment. They wanted to see whether people could. So they were testing their own image generating and video generating company. It's a startup, right?
Wow.
So they're already doing these things, allow me. They're already putting these things in our faces and mixing real and AI. And sometimes we may not be able to tell. Guys, if you're watching this, Lami and I are real. See, can you hear? Can you hear that? See this head? This head is real. It's not AI. Can you see how shiny it is? See how shiny it is? Hello,
we are real.
You see, this salt and pepper, AI cannot get it. It will be glitching. It will think, this one is real. Allow me is as real as they come. It's not AI.
Yemi has killed me. Yemi said we're real.
So that's my concern. Do you have any concerns? I mean,
I do have a lot of concerns.
right.
And what you said is one important one. I mean, what if one of the frames? I mean, we've seen these movies, right? Enemy of the State and where it was CGI
or the movie called
or
Artificial Intelligence, the Spielberg movie.
A movie, exactly. So we've seen these movies where people have created these deep fakes and used them to either cover up for something or create an alternative reality. That worries me. The potential for mischief worries me. Something that also worries me is all this training data. Because let's face it. So the other day I asked, that challenge that was going around, tell your AI based on everything you know about me, create a caricature of me. Did you ever see that one?
I've been seeing it on LinkedIn.
So it was on LinkedIn, it was on Instagram. And I just thought, so I went and just randomly said to my ChatGPT, based on everything you know about me, generate a caricature. It had a frightening level of information about what I do.
Wow.
Everything I do. Everything I do with the AI.
Who owns that data? Who
owns all that data? Who owns all that data?
And why?
Because you sign away your rights to that data. They tell you, oh, we promise you we are not selling your data. We're only using your data to train our models. Okay, great. But you're training your models. I'm paying for the privilege of you training your models with my data. What happens when the computer decides to sell that data? Or if you change your mind one day and choose to monetize the data?
Or it's hacked. We can't say we're not seeing data breaches. Every market Monday, there's a data breach somewhere in the world. There's a big company that's been, Jaguar Land Rover as an example, last year, they lost millions, and other companies. Yeah.
So, it is quite worrying. Then it's also, I guess it's all tied to mischief, right? Let me ask you this one. Are you worried that AI will ever replace you?
It's a good question. I used to be, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm passionate about it, because I know that humans cannot be replaced. But
you think?
Yes, I think humans cannot be replaced. But the most repetitive tasks and what is deemed the most mundane and basic level tasks will be replaced. So, for example, if you go into a store, back in the day, you had to, in some parts of the world, you still need people to serve you. But in some other parts of the world, they've automated that, where they have lesser tills now. So let's say they had 10 tills before. Those 10 tills will be manned or womaned, as the case may be, by people serving you, right? But now they've been able to change that into 6 self-service um, 6 self-service
Terminals or stations.
terminals and 4 for human contact. So if you are able to understand how AI works, understand the use cases, understand it in its entirety, then you are at the ahead of the curve when it comes to the replacement. But will jobs go? Yes, jobs will go, because value would always go for where people can save money, people can save time, and people can make more money. So if you can hire lesser people to do the work, you will. But the people whose jobs I think going to be a bit protected or will, but why I say that is anytime the world says is getting rid of jobs, it creates new jobs. So now we have data scientists now, and we have machine learning engineers. 10 years ago, we didn't have data scientists and machine learning engineers. So the job descriptions will change. The programming languages will change. Python is one of the languages that they use, main languages that is used within the AI space. And there are some new languages. So some of the languages that they use for normal programming today will kind of like start to reduce, which means people that want to like code AI will need to change. People that are working in AI will need to learn the terminology. Startups that are looking for use cases of how they can use AI to make things quicker, whether it's in banking, whether it's in construction, whether it's in oil and gas, drone technology, all this stuff that is happening. It creates new jobs, but will the basic mundane jobs go? Yes. Customer service, for example, if you can train an AI to pick up a call, or you're even telling people don't even call us, the minute you go to our website or an app, will have our trained AI tool that will answer all your questions. We put all the training data of 1,000 most asked questions in the company. People want to either report a fault, they're trying to get an update on a complaint, or make it as so companies will make it as difficult for people to want to speak to a human being, because the AI will get so good that everything that they need and we're already seeing it in banking to an extent where people don't tend to even go to branches anymore
Yeah.
unless there's an issue, right? So they will go into their app, they will transfer money, they'll get the alert in the money, they will pay their bill through it, get their OTP there for comfort, etc., etc. So we've seen that in banking, we've seen that in telecoms and some other transformative industries. So we're already seeing it, but I think um, some jobs will definitely go, but new jobs will also be created.
I agree with you. I agree. Some jobs will change.
Yeah.
Some jobs will be eliminated. And look, if you can adapt,
Mm.
then there's always going to be a role for you.
You just have
You
to
know,
like knowledge. You have to like to learn. I belong.
but so a lot of it is also tied to robotics, though.
Yeah.
What I mean is, you think manual jobs, menial jobs like your plumber, your gardener,
They are not going anywhere.
but that's why I said robotics. If you're able to then have machines that can do some of these things, so you have a blockage in a pipe, and you have a machine that can automate running a snake through it
Who's
or a
going to
rod
drive the
through
machine
it.
to get? Who's going to drive the robot to go and fix this? The plumbing
Oh,
mistake in the person's house.
a robot taxi will drive the robot there.
When we get to that point,
Yeah, that's why I said it's tied. A lot of it is, so eliminating jobs will be tied to robotics. For now, there's some things that men have to do. But I have no illusions about the fact that as robotics, and when you tie AI and robotics together, you now have AI being the brain and the robot being the muscle. So could you then imagine a world in which you contact your plumber that you have or your toilet gets blocked, and it
Mm-hmm.
sends a message to the company that you have a maintenance contract with some firm, and your toilet is blocked. Your home management AI receives a signal that toilet 2 or toilet Y is blocked,
Mm-hmm.
and a signal is sent to the maintenance company, which sends a robot around. The robot catches a robot taxi or takes a train or comes by drone to your residence to perform the menial task, and then goes back. But at that point, you've now look. I'm not an IT guy, but at that point, I feel like you've now perfectly tied AI to robotics to
Yes,
achieve the results.
you have. Yes. And
Otherwise, if
Tesla
it's
is
just
already
the
using
brain,
that, and
yeah.
some other companies. Yep. Yep.
So
But then,
so AI.
but then, what do human beings do?
The theory I've heard some people say the theory is then to just sit back and relax. Let the AI. Some people suggest that AI will usher in the golden age of man's true work-life balance,
Hmm.
where man is just not doing the heavy lifting and life is easier. I don't know if that utopia exists really, but in theory, so are you going to have rich and poor? What would the differentiators be between the rich and the poor? I guess the rich will have better robots.
Possibly.
I mean, I start to struggle with some of these ideas when I think about them.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now, say obviously the heavy lifting, like you said, plumbers, electricians, people working in construction, people working on the roads, all the rail projects, building airplanes, and all, going into mines, all that heavy drilling stuff. Can we really get to a point in life where all that will be robotic and AI, and at what cost?
So in the construction industry, you can already automate certain tasks. Um, you want to plaster a wall, you can already automate some of these things. There are robots that can do something. Place a tile. So apply the plaster, apply the tiles, paint a wall, paint a ceiling, lay cables and coal, lay pipes. There are already machines that can do some of these tasks already. And in terms of applying the perfect layer of paint, right? A machine will do that better than a human being. Perfect layer of paint to the micron. Robots will do that. A perfect line, plastering the wall and getting the perfect plaster on the wall without any marks that you get from a human being. You
And
can
in quicker
already get.
time.
The Chinese are doing fantastic things. Yeah, you know, yeah, oh yeah. You want to apply resin on the floor, like apply composite floor or certain things. There's certain things that robots are already doing in places like China, and they're doing them better than human
I mean, I've
beings.
seen drones, people, you know how you have Uber Eats and DoorDash, but
Yeah,
then there are
yeah.
places that they can't go to because they are difficult to get to. And I watched one on
Mm,
YouTube where there was this guy in China, and he was in the middle of a park. And
mm,
how do you order pizza in the middle of a park? You have to walk to
mm.
a
The
designated
nearest.
point to go and get that pizza. So what these Chinese companies did, they had their own version of Uber Eats, and in that park, they had a something that looked like a little bit bigger than a phone box with different
Okay.
compartments, and each of them had codes. So when you buy that pizza, it gives you a code. The drone came in the video I watched. I get that's not the noise they make, but that's the whole noise I'm making. The
Mm,
came close to the top of it, and when it got to the top of it, that compartment opened. It dropped the box of pizza slowly into the right compartment, sent a
mm,
message to the person's phone that your order has come,
Has
The
been
guy was
delivered.
actually looking at it when he landed. So he went there, put in the 5-digit code or 6-digit code or whatever, and it opened and he took his pizza and ate his pizza, found a nearby bin and threw the pizza there. And the drone went off. The minute the drone did it, put the food there. It's not the drone they use for, there's a special drone for
Yeah,
that
no,
can
I
carry
understand.
stuff. And so they're already doing things like that, to your point. So now that would have, they would prefer to probably maybe send 5 or 6 or 7 pizzas in that drone to locations around that park, rather than
Yeah.
telling a Domino's van or Pizza Hut van or whoever to go to different people's addresses to give them their pizza. So to add to what you said, we're already seeing um we're already seeing the advent of that. But do you think that AI, people could potentially over rely on AI? So what I mean by that is it can stop critical thinking.
Oh yeah.
If AI answers everything, do we lose our reasoning skills? That's number one. Then number two, just as we have fake news in the print media and on so many different platforms, we even have presidents giving fake news where people go and fact check them. Brexit was on fake news, for crying out loud. 350 million pounds a week that is costing the NHS, and nobody bothered to fact check it. But let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? So we have people winning elections on fake news, people just going with momentum and called figure status, and they're not even fact checking. So do you think this can uh, cause a reduction of intelligence rather than an increase in intelligence? And the reason why I ask that, to add to the points that I made, I have a friend, you know him as well, a very good friend of ours who is a teacher. And universities and schools have to invest in anti AI detecting tools, because students don't want to research, they don't want to work. Because if a 5,000 word essay can be churned out in 3 minutes and all they have to do is change a few words and submit it, why are they going to spend 2 weeks doing a dissertation? You're smiling because you know the kind of work you did for yours. So why are they going to spend that long to do a dissertation, executive summary, research methodology? What are those chapters that we even did? Your introduction. Yeah, there's a chapter for, is it research methods? Yeah, this one said that one, but that one said that one, but this is your own opinion. You know that part in your PhD and masters. Yeah. So all that stuff and AI, if you give it the right prompt, it can actually do the heavy lifting for you, where you just tweak it a bit. But then it takes the pain out, but then the critical reasoning skills that university expects that person to learn, which is why they're getting their PhD or masters, gets defeated. So this, my friend was telling me that they had to, and a surprising amount of people were cheating. They had to call them and said, this is AI. We know. This is not for argument. We know you used AI because we have the best tools that can. And AI has certain words and certain phraseology and stuff. And for the trained eye, people are starting to understand this is an AI text rather than this is um, a real person writing to me. So is there going to be more value now in people reading from people that are writing real, or are we all going to be writing like AI? Interesting question, Avi.
Very interesting question. I'll lead with my personal experience. When you send me a document these days, I assume that your AI wrote it.
Okay.
All right. Or I interrogate documents. I say to my AI, I said, that document, was it written by an AI? Yes or no? Give me an insight into the psychology person who wrote that document.
Mm.
Or was it written by an AI? If it comes back, it was written by an AI, then my answer has to go back to the same AI, not to the human being.
Yes, it has to go back to the same AI. Yeah.
So I think you're going to find something. Hmm? Can it dumb down critical reasoning? Absolutely, it can. And it most likely will for the vast majority of people. But for people who are not lazy, for people who are always going to for people who are always going to question things anyway, I don't think it will do so. But I think it might change what critical reasoning is. I think that might evolve in terms of critical reasoning might just be you training your AI to think critically for you rather
Okay.
than you actually doing the heavy lifting yourself.
To save time.
Yeah. Because now you can say to your AI, evaluate this document from the perspective of A, B, or C. Or I want to write document to so and so person. Like you get a letter from another company or from a partner or whatever it is, and you go online and research the person that wrote that thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier now to go on their LinkedIn and see where they're coming from, and then
Let me
design a
tell you.
response for them.
Yeah.
I
Let
mean,
me tell you
so
one that. Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead. Finish.
go on.
Let me tell you something that somebody shared last week Friday about so Meta, who owns Facebook, created his glasses that in conjunction with Ray-Ban, and there was an article last week, I think in the US, where there is an app that you can. I don't know. I think it's still in beta mode. I don't think it's fully fleshed out yet. But there's an app that you can download on the glasses that when you go into a room, say a conference or something, it will scan Naomi's face and it will tell me who you are, what social media you have, what you do, literally everything about you on the internet.
That's
I will be
scary.
seeing it on my Meta glasses. It will show, like all those films that we used to see, it will show. So before I come and meet you, I know everything about you. I think that's scary.
Yep,
So not only are people being recorded without their consent with these glasses,
they're being
which
ID'd.
the ID one could be something that could potentially now even join the fray.
Yeah, that's what
Again,
it's doing. It's
yeah,
identifying you and it's telling them everything. I mean, come on.
it's AI that's allowing them to
That's
do that.
scary. It is scary. You know?
So government is the another concern. I know we've talked about the advantages of AI, which is numerous, but government is behind technology. Why do I say that?
Yep.
There is only one act, the EU AI Act 2024. Only one. There's no act in the US. There's none in Nigeria. There's none in Africa. I don't think there's any in Australia. There's only one, the EU AI Act. Are there plans to have more acts? Yes. Could there be a plan to have a globalized act? Possibly. But right now, we only have the EU AI Act, which means technology is moving faster than the law. Why is that not necessary? That's necessary because just because we can automate everything doesn't mean we should. In my opinion, there's some things that we should leave in the hands of human beings. Medical diagnosis, sentencing. Judges should not be using AI
Mm-hmm.
to sentence because the training data, like we said, could be biased, right? Autonomous weapons to
Yep.
be used in war. So there's so many things that, from an ethical point of view, I don't think those things should be military targeting is another one. End of life medical decisions. I don't think that should be. I don't think AI should be used for that. I don't think we should use AI to automate parenting. We can automate homework help. It can help you with homework, but it should not take the place of parenting. Parenting is parenting. You have to do the parenting. AI is not going to parent your child for you. So there are some things I still think we should not automate because the the human element, we have to be careful here. The human element, that's what makes us human. And AI should be something, I think I even prefer the term augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. So it should augment
Okay,
our intelligence, it should help our intelligence, it should aid our intelligence, it should speed in our intelligence, but it should not replace it.
I agree.
Yeah, it should not
But
replace
replacing
it.
is inevitable, though.
We're going there. We're going there.
It's inevitable. I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, we're going there. And it's just getting, it's getting better. I'm not going to lie to you. From a year ago to now, what I'm seeing now, um, and one thing I also do, I don't know if you do this, and anyone who's watching, this is Two Grown Men. Please like this video and share it to anyone who's interested. And yeah, we plan to record more as time goes on and be more consistent in 2026. What I'm going to say is that what I was going to say is that with um, with AI, one thing I do is every single AI tool I use, I ask one question: what is the cutoff date for your training data? Which is an excellent question because you might be looking at outdated information, and that's why I talked about hallucination earlier. Because I know the right answer. Sometimes I go there because I know what the right answer is because I
Yeah.
still use it. So it hasn't replaced Google for me. It hasn't replaced news media and the rest. So I use all of them together. So AI for some certain things, print media for some certain things, Google for some certain things. I don't use it as a all in one encompassing tool because I know the training data isn't up to date. So some of them, their cutoff date is 2024, some even 2023. And that's why they have ChatGPT 3, 4. I think the latest one is ChatGPT 5.0. Then if you pay for the
Actually,
Pro,
5.2 now, actually.
is it 5.2? Okay. So
Mm.
5.2. And if you pay for the
No, I
Pro,
understand your point, yeah.
if you pay for the Pro actually gives you clearer and more accurate answers than the free version. A lot of people don't know that. It gives you, it makes sense for them to, because the premium, you're paying $20 a month, you should get more accurate information. It doesn't mean every single thing will be accurate there, but it's more, slightly a bit more accurate. So I always tell it, because it will tell me something and I'll say, yes, but that information has changed. That person is no more a governor. Maybe that person is a senator now. Maybe that person
Mhm.
is not a CEO of that company anymore. He's moved on to, a charity. And then he'll tell you, oh, um, my apologies, you are right. So it has the ability to go and check live data, but its default is not to go and check live data. I don't know if that makes sense. Its default is to go to the training data. So in effect, when you tell it it's wrong, it doesn't know it's wrong. When you tell it it's wrong and you challenge it and you say, I know this is the case, it will think. It will go to its training data, and then in some cases, it has access to live data. You can't use it to book tickets like a flight ticket. I want you to book a flight ticket. In some cases, it will not be able to give me real time information to send me to a website where, or it can maybe signpost me to the website, but it can't tell me that my ticket to Lagos in December, for example, I can get it for £680 economy or £2,000 business class Virgin on a certain date. This is the link. It can't tell me that because it doesn't have access to that live data. So what it will do is it will approximate based on previous information what that ticket is likely to cost, which may not be accurate because it's not going to reflect things like the economy, inflation, availability of flights, blah, blah, blah. So asking it when the cutoff point of the training data is important, because that allows you to understand that, okay, this thing is 2 years, 2 years in the past. But you now ask it the next question: do you have access to live data? Now it depends on what you're asking it. So some certain things you'll plug into live data and it'll give you up to date. Some other things it might not be able to.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. One of the things I've noticed is
Hmm.
how far along AI has gone
Yes.
between when we first started to use it and today. I remember using it for research and having to correct a lot of stuff. Like you said, things that you already know that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
Mhm.
Having to point it at specific articles, and then I use it to write a few documents where you pointed at specific articles, maybe like 10, 20 articles. Or it writes you an article, and you add more data, and you realize that this disjointed between the first paragraph and the 10th paragraph, they're disjointed, and you can't get it to rewrite there. And then to the point where today you just tell it, go and find out A, B, and C things, and it's out there, ChatGPT is is scouring the internet, digging up the articles,
Yes.
giving you perspectives and co. And you realize that in human terms, this thing's a toddler.
It's still very young. Oh.
In human terms, it's a toddler. How long have we been using the large language model AIs? How long have we used? How long? 5 years?
2 years
Maybe less.
maximum. Yes. We didn't have it
In
during COVID. It was
Yeah.
after COVID, right?
So
Okay.
I think ChatGPT was 2022 or 2023,
Yeah.
maybe even 2024. I think it was 2023. Should we check this?
Yes, let's check it.
Hold on.
Okay. I think 2023.
Okay, ChatGPT was publicly released by OpenAI on 30th November 2022.
2022. Okay. Close.
That's ChatGPT. So in human terms, this is a 3-year-old child.
Hmm.
That child is talking, running around, but their words are they're not 100% clear yet. They're still throwing tantrums. You understand? It's a child.
Big child.
It's a baby. But see how far this child has come in such a short amount of time.
Hmm.
It can be scary when you think about it. It's also fascinating. The technology does not. I think if you're afraid of technology, then you might as well just lie down and die, right?
Hmm.
But I can't lie that sometimes it can be like alarming when you see the videos. I think the one we can all relate to is the videos, the manipulated pictures. You're like, hey,
Very manipulative.
this is crazy. This is crazy. But they're the good sides. And then, so when you talk about privacy, there are ways you can manage your privacy somewhat. If you're not using a public AI model, like you have your own private AI at home, your own machine at home, then you can ring fence like the information it holds about you, your files and co. And I think we're going to get there eventually where you'll be able to have this, whether it's tied to your computer or a separate device at home that your AI lives in. And from where you're going to have your own Jarvis, which is both interesting and scary.
It's a fast growing child, though.
Hollywood would have you be afraid.
They're saying that it's going to replace actors, and there are some concerns in the industry, and they're already using it for, where you would have, you had CGI, but it's making CGI even look very childish. So now they're even saying that some fight scenes. So let's say where you would have, maybe you go into a bar, like in a film now, you go into a bar, the main actor is maybe there's a gang scene, right? And there are 30 people fighting. The main actor is fighting with some boom, 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 boom. And then other people in the bar are also fighting, like the people he came with. Literally now, their Hollywood budgets, they want to cut the budget. So that Hollywood actor will come in, his guys will be AI. The other bad guy will come in, his own guys will be AI. So only those two guys will be
Will be
fighting in the
real.
scene. Every other person in the background will be AI.
I don't doubt it.
That's what they are proposing. So actors are saying that, man, people are going to, will AI go to the film premieres? And there's been a lot of that kind of like stuff talking about that people still need human interaction. That, why are we trying to get away from human interaction and stuff? But of course, it's going to, I think we're not there yet, but I think some big Hollywood directors are already saying that it's going to cut down the time it's going to take to even edit post production and stuff like that, because they have tools that will make their lives easier, which means it'll cut budgets. And if it cuts budgets, it means actors and some other people's jobs. But like we said earlier, they may need to just retrain into understanding how to do those new things. But the, ever since we've been here, the world has never been static. So I try not to get too hung up about change. I know all change, there will be good elements, there will be bad elements, and hopefully we've done justice to the topic. Allow me, any closing words on this fascinating topic that everyone is impacted in, whether you like it or not?
No, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, we haven't finished this conversation yet.
We
We're
need a
just
part two.
adjourning to continue another day. We're just going to continue another day. I think as AI evolves,
Yeah.
you and I are going to find things to say. Can you imagine what happened today?
I think we should even do a video, then react to a video, the next topic of something, and then see if we can get the viewers to guess whether whether it's real or AI, and then we'll watch it together and give our own thoughts.
That's an option. That's an option. That's an option. At this point, we want to say thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you, Eshio.
If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel. Please give this video a like. Please support us every way you can, and leave us a comment. How has AI impacted you? Are there specific questions you want to ask us, or things you want us to discuss?
What's your favorite AI tool?
What's your favorite AI tool, or what's the thing you use AI for the most?
Yeah.
And what are your fears? What are your thoughts concerning AI? Let us know in the chat, in the comments, please. Thank you very much. Otherwise, Yemi,
see you later.
See you later.
Nice
Good night.
One.
Kachifo.